Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
How you all doing, guys? It's me, Weekend Warrior. As the title of the video says, we're gonna mock Cruella for fun and profit. If you don't know anything about Cruella, I am legitimately jealous because you don't have anything stupid in your brain. It's a prequel movie about Cruella de Vil, you know, the villain of 101 Dalmatians.
I want the job done tonight.
You couldn't get half a dozen coats out of the old caboodle.
Counts. Dogskin counts.
That's a good idea. I think one of the weakest parts of the movie is the flashback when she was a child. It has that in common with Mulan.
I wanted to be a fashion designer, not a thief.
Stop hiring child actors. Just don't have child actor flashbacks. And since we're on the topic of the flashback, we're gonna discuss the very important scene. Okay, spoilers for Cruella. Like you give a shit. Oh, someone gave a shit? So like some mistakes, Cruella is shown to be born into this world, and we just gotta deal with that shit.
That's unfortunate.
So after some misunderstood little girl genius and she gets kicked out of school because she's the bully or the instigators make her get kicked out or some shit. There's some subtle foreshadowing about the Dalmatians because, do you get it? Circles and shit. Her mother goes to this benefactor person for some reason that we don't see, and then this happens. Guys, you gotta prepare yourselves for this one. Physically, spiritually, mentally, because this shit is so dumb. Yes, you saw that right, guys. Your eyes did not fail you. A Dalmatian drop-kicked her mother into the abyss. This is another weird thing I noticed about the scene, so they're already running to Cruella's mom, right? That's the point of this dramatic, in so many quotes, dramatic cut. The camera turns upside down, like, I guess it's because Cruella's world is about to be turned upside down, ooh. But then they show the dogs running at the mom again. I think it would have been nice if they just cut it to her reacting when they jumped. And then they do the drop kick. It just feels weird. Real talk? Bitch deserved to die. Bitch deserved to die. She heard the dogs running to her. She saw them coming at her. She didn't even try to dodge. Am I supposed to feel bad for you? So dumb, so dumb, so dumb, so dumb. Yeah, Wang is right. Bitch, do something. It's possible that these dogs are like rendered in post. Like these are 3D dogs that are fake as fuck. And she didn't react because she didn't see them coming at her. The director probably told her, oh, this is the time to act shocked. And then she goes, ooh, mildly inconvenienced. Now let's take a look at Cruella's reaction to this whole thing. Or Exhibit A as to why child actors should not be used so often. Am I supposed to feel bad for your child? Another thing that makes me infuriated about this whole thing, the Dalmatians being the killer of her mom doesn't really affect her. What affects her more is the fact that her mother died. She gets mad at the person who ordered her mom being killed. That makes sense. If Cruella blamed the dogs as to killing her mother, it's like blaming the bullet when you should really be mad at the guy that shot it. But what doesn't make sense is if this is such a pivotal moment in Cruella and that building up into 101 Dalmatians, why make the killer dogs be Dalmatians in the first place if it doesn't really change her? It doesn't affect her outlook on the breed. She doesn't have a psychotic rage whenever she sees a dog or a Dalmatian. It doesn't matter. So why did you make the bullet Dalmatians if it doesn't affect Cruella in that regard? I also hate how the director thought it was a brilliant move to do. The director of this, by the way, did Lars and the Real Girl, so I don't understand what happened to him. He also did I, Tonya, but I didn't watch that, so whatever. The dogs were something that we had to address. Not really. You could have Cruella just be an evil person. Like in the original movie, I don't really see Cruella de Vil as some sort of person that needed a backstory. She's just an evil person. Okay.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll take them all, the whole litter. Just name your price, dear.
An evil rich... Okay.
I'll get even. Just wait. You'll be sorry. You fools. You idiots!
An evil, rich, psychotic person that didn't need an explanation as to how she became like this. She's just a bitch. It ain't that deep. And I think this is the first time I'm gonna agree with an executive decision. There were executives that said, well, maybe we could scare her and she can sort of stumble. I'm like, no. That's splitting hairs. It has to be this very aggressive moment. I actually agree that it should have been an aggressive moment. Maybe instead of letting the dogs push her mother off a cliff, you should have let them bite her neck or maul her. Oh, hey, bro.
Oh, hey, Weekend.
What you doing here?
Yeah, this movie's terrible.
This whole interview is wrong. While I agree seeing your parents die in front of you is traumatic, gently getting pushed off a cliff while you fall to your death and your child can't see what happens to your body after that, I don't think that's as aggressive as you would think it is. Not really. And this event doesn't change Cruella at all. I don't know what made you think this interview was some sort of genius or was some sort of look into her psyche when it doesn't really change her. Also, there's this smug guy that replies in my Twitter feed like, oh, lol. Clearly you didn't watch Cruella. Lol, that's not what makes her evil. Lol. Bruh, this is a reasonable assumption that this is what caused Cruella to hate dogs and some shit because it's marketed as a prequel. This is not an own against the people that mock this concept. This is an own against Disney, the executives, and the director who thought this was a good idea. And by the way, the real killer makes more impact on her personality. Like everything Cruella becomes, like as an evil person, is ripping off the actual person that killed her mother, who turns out to be her real mother. And Cruella is also secretly rich. This is like one of those Filipino soap operas. So we have proven that the interview is stupid. The backstory might not as well exist, and Cruella has a stupid origin story. That's enough for the video, right? Another thing I noticed about the movie that really irritated me was the fact that it has a lot of exposition. The conceit of the movie is that Cruella de Vil is narrating her past. That's why we occasionally get this narration.
When a girl like me makes a promise like that, you don't take her to a place like this.
It's just that sometimes what she's saying, I can see on screen.
I need you to lie low.
I know we're wearing a hat.
Exactly.
I did try to lay low. But as you can see, I broke the promise.
The execution of all of this is so lazy. There are other ways to say that you did not keep the promise, aside from explicitly saying what we can already see in a film. You know, a fucking visual medium. Or how about this?
Jasper was the insightful one,
She has no family.
which was also annoying.
You could already see that the kid actress is annoyed. This is one of the times where the kid is actually doing okay. Because, you know, kids are annoying. See, I expressed annoyance by saying it and expressing it in a different manner. You can do that, bro. You don't have to say you're annoyed. We get it. There are also times where the movie tells me what it already told me.
Thousands of tears later.
Baroness killed my mother.
Or how about when the Baroness tries to kill Cruella in the same way her mother died, by pushing her off the cliff. But she survives because of magic.
But there's something about poetic justice that's just so poetic.
Oh man, that scene had so many problems. Like the setup for the Baroness to be caught is you need witnesses to see the crime. So they convince all these rich socialites to come out to the balcony area. And they don't make any noise? The rich socialites who do nothing but talk and gossip and shit? Another funny thing the movie does is spelling out a character trait that is obvious.
Then I saw Catherine, the sweetest woman who ever lived.
The movie didn't need to tell me that. From the limited screen time Cruella's mom had, adopted mom, she's actually nice. She's actually loving. A bit too dumb to live, but, you know, can't be perfect. You don't need to say that again. You know what this feels like? It feels like this movie is narrating or expositing just in case someone in the audience doesn't understand what's happening. But the kids won't like this fucking movie because it's too fucking dark and they wouldn't get some of the concepts. And adults will laugh at the whole silliness of this movie. That's the thing that gets me the most. This movie's trying so hard to be serious, but the material is ridiculous. Is that what they're going for? Is this camp? Is it? I don't know, I don't like it. Another thing I don't like. Another thing I noticed was that the movie's runtime is too long, and I think what is artificially increasing the runtime of this movie is the scene transitions, because for most of the movie, they're music videos. They are. Like, they're long, ostentatious, unnecessary music videos. I saw Possum's review of Cruella and his comment on the movie trying to copy Joker. I agree with that. And he also observed that Joker worked because it seemed like the music is in his head. Let's just analyze the famous stair scene from Joker. Okay, let's stop playing the music here. Let me put my spin on it. So the music is happy here, but at some point it turns dark because it's actually reflecting his mental state, like what Possum said. Because in this scene, this is when he embraces being evil. Despite the celebration that Joker is doing, it's actually a tragic scene. I can't say Cruella did something similarly artistic. It's pretty fucking obvious.
Anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. I'd like to add one more. Revenge.
Thanks, Cruella. Oh, here we go again, bitch. The contemporary music doesn't really add anything to Cruella. In fact, I think ambient music, good instrumental music, would help this film more, rather than the 60s music shit. This is like my big brain conspiracy theory. I think they put it there so that they could copyright claim people. Because the music is so much here, and they could just take like 5 seconds and say, "Oh, your video has been copyright claimed, asshole." Incidentally, I have a Patreon. What really grinds my gears is this girl boss revisionism, as I'd like to call it. It was done in Maleficent and they're doing it again. Instead of portraying a villain, you know, like a villain origin story, they actually transform the character into some sort of anti-hero. And this anti-hero is usually a girl, an anti-heroine. Hence the term girl boss revisionism. It's like female empowerment, they have to shove it in there.
How does the saying go? I am woman, hear me roar.
Oh, I'm roaring, you know, roar. It's not even like, you know, a villain story where she's or he's the hero in their own mind. It's not even like that. This is legit. I would argue Cruella's not that bad of a person. The movie is still bad and the people that made it should feel bad. The movie wants you to play her up as some sort of troubled child, but really, I would think that's just growing pains. She's just being, you know, an annoying, bratty kid. Not someone that's gonna be malevolent. And when she grows up, the worst she does before she met the actual bad person in the fucking movie, she's not doing it because she's inherently evil or some sort of malicious streak inside her. No, she's doing it because she's forced to become a thief, as she so eloquently put it.
I wanted to be a fashion designer, not a thief.
And the girl boss revisionism doesn't end with her morality, guys. Cruella, in this tale, is also some sort of genius that's ahead of her time and avant-garde and unappreciated. You know what I like? You also put on top of the already bratty kid a superiority complex. That's what I want in my kid characters, a fucking know-it-all. OG Cruella just seems like a rich brute, and she likes fur just because she likes it. I don't get this avant-garde genius shit, I really don't. So at some point she figures out that she really didn't kill her mother.
The Baron has killed my mother.
Yes, the super genius girl is blaming herself for her mother's death.
There are no words.
There's been a murder.
It was my fault.
This is a blatant play for sympathy. Oh, the teenage psychopath has a heart because she loves her mama. Oh, she keeps talking to the fountain they promised they'd talk to when she was a young person. She's not all that bad, guys. So not only is she not dumb and not a bitch.
Cruella gets things done. Stella does not.
Okay, she's kind of a bitch. She has some moral justification for taking revenge against the Baroness. And at the end of it, I actually kind of agree that, you know, eye for an eye. I agree with that philosophy. Fuck her up. I am surprised she didn't kill her.
I know you're in pain. And I know that she caused it, but, you know, killing her is not...
Wrong answer! Destroy the bitch! And this is the thing, she doesn't even kill her, she outwits her. She's not a villain! He's not a bad guy! How is this supposed to be a fucking prequel? Whatever, man, this movie feels so pointless. If you are going to totally change the character, why call it Cruella? It's Cruella, but not really. It feels like bad fanfiction at that point, right? She's really a good guy, trust me. Like, shut up. Like, this whole movie can just shut the fuck up. Speaking of people that need to shut the fuck up.
Love me insane. Flowers and
I've been hinting about it throughout this video, but I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say the J word.
Society!
I know what you're thinking, guys. Weekend. That's not the J word. Shoutouts to Possum once again for letting me know about this. I guess it's a trend among big brain individuals. He said there was something in common about this combination of words in Twitter, and this is what I found out. Guys, I don't know anything about The Devil Wears Prada, nor would I want to see him wear Prada. However, I am what you call a jokesman expert, so I think I have a little bit of something to say about this Joker mixture with Cruella, which it's not, no. Cruella is nothing like the Joker. Cruella wishes it was 10% like the Joker. One of the things that annoyed me while researching the Joker-Cruella connection was that someone on the internet pointed out that, oh, don't you know, the script for Cruella was before the Joker, ho ho ho. I do note that the script for this was made in 2016, but it was made in 2019, sometime in 2019, and the editing was done around after the time Joker came out in the cinemas. So, yeah. If you don't think the movie wasn't influenced by Joker, I am also selling this wonderful bridge in the Philippines if you wanna, you know, just PayPal me, bro. I'm legit. Trust me. Why would I lie to you? Joker, when you get down to it, is about a man so downtrodden by society he fucking snaps. Cruella is about some entitled bitch who gets her revenge and profits while doing it. Joker is a tragedy. Cruella is this celebratory yes queen I kneel movie. It's really, Cruella is really disgusting. The ending is almost celebratory with the credits going Cruella de Vil, Cruella de Vil. She's so fucking evil, I'm coming within. In the ending of the Joker, there's this song, right? It plays. It's played while he's being chased by an orderly after it looks like he killed someone. It seems almost like they're presenting Cruella as some sort of idol. But really, she shouldn't be idolized. Not really. If you idolize her, I have questions about your idols, really, and standards in general. Another interesting thing about the Joker is that it actually explores how damaging and debilitating it is to have a mental illness, and how this mental illness and other societal factors will lead a man to snap.
They've cut our funding. We're closing down our offices next week. The city has cut funding across the board. Social services is part of that. This is the last time we'll be meeting. They don't give a shit about people like you, Arthur. And they really don't give a shit about people like me either.
Cruella kinda explores this mental illness aspect. Like, I see that from the Cruella Estella thing. Maybe I'm giving the movie far more credit than it actually deserves, but maybe they were playing with that idea, that dissociative identity disorder. Maybe that's it. She invented Cruella, or her mother invented Cruella, or to cope with this psychopathic side of her child. Estella also embraces that Cruella aspect when she finally goes all in on the revenge plot against the Baroness.
Morning, boys.
Morning.
Guys, is it a mental illness when you're acting like a massive cunt? Can you explain that to me? This is not something I'm making up. Like, they acknowledge that she goes crazy, right?
I went a bit mad. I'm sorry.
Thank you, movie. Is being a bitch now a mental disorder? Is that what the movie is trying to say? Like, this is my problem with it. I don't know if she's crazy or is just acting like the worst person she knows so she could do something bad. Because I wouldn't argue that she's like evil, or she just acted a little bit more of a bitch to get what she wants. Now, is that being a psychopath? I don't know. I don't think so. She still has morals. She clearly cares about the people around her. She's not a psychopath like this movie is trying so hard to pretend it is.
I guess you were always scared, weren't you, that I'd be a psycho?
Oh yeah, that's another thing. There's this whole nature and nurture debate in the movie. And hilariously, the Disney movie is very cynical about its answer. She's the way she is because of her mother.
It all makes sense now. What? That you're so extraordinary. Of course, you're mine.
I would like to think that people can change because of, circumstances, not just the hardware you're wired with. Joker handled that better. Arthur was fucked from the beginning. He really had no chance. His mother was a bitch. His environment could not help him.
You also stood by when one of your boyfriends repeatedly abused your adopted son and battered you.
Cruella goes, no, you are going to be the way you are despite everything else that is being given to you. And here's the thing also, Arthur did some things in the movie, like he had some agency there, but for the most part, he was just rolling with it. He was actually being beaten down by his circumstances. Cruella actively goes out of her way to shit on the Baroness. Yeah, this is the thing, right? The movie showed in the early stages that they were grifting, and it was her costumes that made it work. She is creating high enough level clothing so that they can infiltrate hotels and all this shit. So instead of just earning enough money and starting out her own shop after that, after they thieved, the movie goes out of its way to have this conflict that Cruella didn't even really need to do. Like, because she's that talented, she could make sugar out of shit. Like, come on, bro. She's got options. Arthur doesn't. Maybe all this mental illness shit about Cruella is all in my head. Maybe I'm giving the movie far more credit than it actually deserves. Maybe that's the case. The movie Cruella has more in common with Cuck. They're both movies that no one asks for, and I think they'll be forgotten. Despite what I think of Cruella, which is that it's a piece of shit movie that deserves to fail, it's actually getting a sequel. I don't know how that happened because the budget is 100 million to 200. And as of this recording, the movie made 132 million. So at best, it made a modest amount of 32 million. Apparently, that's enough to make a sequel possible. Maybe what we're not seeing is the Disney Plus numbers because Disney is doing this obnoxious shit again where you have to pay $30 before you can watch it. And that's it, guys, for this analysis of this trash fire of a movie. As always, I thank you for watching, and a huge shout out to my patrons for making this possible. Chet McMasterson, Danil Dmitriev, Hjortor S. Hjortorson, Jan L. Doskusi, John Lemley, Logic M. Marcelo Oliveria, Nerzul I, Registered Good Boy, Robot I, and Tad586, as well as these other wonderful warriors. Shout out to the creators that I've mentioned in this video. First of all, we got Possum Reviews. You should follow him on Twitter and subscribe to him on YouTube if you haven't, because he's really insightful, funny, and angry all the time. Shout outs to Mauler. You might have heard of him from his very engaging series on Soma. Finally, a huge shout out to Echo for making this wallpaper. And it's so fucking funny, I used it as the cover for this YouTube video and he graciously granted permission. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the next one.